What's going on, YouTube? So we review hundreds of cars every year, but occasionally there's a car that makes your heart skip a little bit of a beat, and that's an example of what I'm sitting next to right now. This is the all-new 2025 BMW M5. This sedan is promising insane levels of performance, insane levels of luxury, and I can't wait to show you all of what it's about. So let's go ahead and dive in. So before we take this M5 out for a spin, yes, we will be doing that later on in this review, we need to talk about the exterior as well as some of the interior luxury. Now, here on the outside, you're definitely not going to mistake this for your average 5 Series because this is a lot wider than your average 5 Series, and it just looks so much more aggressive and sporty. So what you're going to have is your traditional BMW kidney grille. We've seen this on other versions of the 5 Series. Here on the M5, it's actually mostly sealed off, and we do have special branding here along the side. I do want to point out you also have illumination, so you'll even be able to see this at nighttime. Now, dropping down to your lower fascia, this is where it really starts to get super sporty. Look at how much airflow you have to, of course, feed air into that massive engine under the hood, and of course it just looks so good. Now, as far as your headlights are concerned, our typical 5 Series headlights take hold here. We have a full LED setup. It's actually an adaptive LED as well. You have your new daytime running lights and LED turn signal indicators, and a really overall chiseled front design. Now, no sports car would be complete without beautiful wheels, and indeed we are going to have those here on the M5. Now, as far as the sizing is concerned, we have 20-inch alloys up here in the front. We're actually going to have a staggered design, so you actually have 21-inch alloys in the rear, of course, to help you put that power down. It's really nice and wide, and you're going to have performance summer tread. Now, additionally, we have the available option of carbon ceramic brakes, which is what we have today. $8,500 will afford you those, and that's definitely going to help your performance out on the track. Now, coming up, I do want to mention your paint color. This is also an available option for around $3,000. It's called Frozen Gray. It looks really fantastic here in person. Now, as far as our mirrors are concerned, we do have the same functionalities as you would expect out of any 5 Series. So they're going to be heated, power folding, have blind spot monitoring, and auto dimming. Additionally, we have the carbon fiber package, which will carbon fiber the mirror caps as well as the entire roof. Now, you can't really see it too well since it is very close to the paint color of this model, but the entire roof is a beautiful carbon fiber. Now, at the side, the M5 is about 199 inches long, and it's overall a little bit of a boxier design than what it was previously. Additionally, we're going to have M5 branding here at the side, so you won't mistake the side for anything else either. Now, as we head around to the rear design, I have to say this is definitely my favorite angle of this new M5. The rear looks so good. They've, of course, made it a lot more aggressive than the traditional 5 Series model. And as far as some of those design elements, up here at the top, we have a carbon fiber spoiler. And then flanking the sides, we have some nice LED taillights. These are pretty much your signature 5 Series taillights, so they're going to be full LED. That includes your brake light, your turn signal, and reverse light. But then dropping down, here's where it starts to get really special. So just like up in the front, we have a super aggressive lower diffuser, and we're also going to have quad exhaust outlets. I love the look of these overall exhaust setup, and of course it also sounds fantastic, so let's go ahead and take a listen. Now, of course, this is a very fast vehicle, so you might need some of your safety systems to keep you on the road, and indeed, BMW is offering all of those as you would expect. That even is going to include things like an advanced highway assist function that can do some hands-free driving at up to speeds of 85 miles per hour. But enough about the outside, let's dive into the beautifully crafted cabin. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars. So let's dive inside this new M5. Before we get into the cabin, I do want to show you your key fob. This is your really nice BMW key fob. It's made of a piano black, has a nice heft to it. You have your buttons here on the side, and you also have remote start built into the fob itself. Of course, that's standard equipment, and you do also have digital key that's available. You may also notice that this right here, that's your charge port. Let that be a little bit of a hint to you as to what's under the hood for this new M5. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But let's open up the door and let you take a look inside the cabin. Now, you might have seen those really cool lights that went across the dashboard in the signature M colors. How neat is that as you get into the vehicle? But you're also going to notice that this is a beautifully crafted cabin. As you would expect out of an M5, this is a very expensive vehicle. So let's go ahead and start by discussing the seats. Now, we have some beautiful seats on board. When you choose the M5, you're going to come standard with extended merino leather and this amazing looking seat. Now, we've opted for the red and black combination. Of course, there are a lot of different colors if you don't like the full red, but I think this looks absolutely fantastic. It has really nice perforations going on through here, thick bolsters, and we have M5 branding here in the back. Now, as far as the adjustments, as expected, there are a lot of adjustments, including four-way lumbar support, and we're also going to have memory seats that's over there on the door trim. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop inside. Now let's shut up the door and dive into overall cabin material quality here in the new M5. Of course, this is going to be a beautifully crafted cabin as expected. So over here on the door trim, we're going to have more of that red leather that's going to kind of bend down and into this area. The upper part of the door trim is going to be a soft touch plastic, and of course you have some lighting going through that section. Metal speaker grille. Up on the very top part of the dashboard, this is all going to be finished in a soft touch plastic material. We have some more lighting details, a full carbon fiber piece going through the center section, so lots of that nice premium material selection. And then down here in the center tunnel, this is all going to be a soft touch plastic. So overall, a very nicely done cabin, and we also have a suede headliner. But let's go ahead and start it up and get that engine on. Now, let the fact that no engine fired up be another hint as to what is under the hood of this new M5. Once again, we'll talk about that a little later. Now, as far as the technology is concerned, here in the gauge cluster, you will find a 12.3-inch full digital one as standard equipment. It's typical BMW. Very highly customizable, and here on the M5 you do have specific M graphics that will be very usable when you're using this on the track and whatnot. You look up at the windshield, you'll find a absolutely massive head-up display. This might be the biggest head-up display I think I've ever seen. It is ridiculously big. That's standard on M5. It does have augmented reality information as well. Coming back to the steering wheel itself, beautiful setup here, really thick rim to it. We have the signature M colors going through the stitching details, and we also have the M center marker right through here. Additionally, we have specific M modes that we can customize, so we can really easily just do that with the press of a button without really even taking our hands off the wheel. And we do have some paddle shifters, although I will point out these are plastic. I wish they were metal paddle shifters. The steering wheel itself is going to be power tilt and telescoping, and it is also heated. Now, when it comes to interior storage, I'm sure you're probably not too concerned about this, but because this is an M5, it is really the best of both worlds in the fact that you have quite a bit of interior storage and quite a bit of practicality as well. Coming up in front of this area, you have two large cup holders as well as a wireless phone charging pad and another little storage cubby, so really not too impractical. Coming back to our shifter, we have the new BMW nub style design, so just pull back for drive. Once more, put you into a sport mode where you can manually shift. We'll also fire up the engine when you do that. As we head into reverse, of course, we do have a standard 360 camera here on the M5. Very nice resolution, and you also have the ability to go into a 3D view. Of course, the graphics are quite impressive, as we've come to expect from BMW. Just press the P for park. Additionally, off to the side of that, you have a few more controls. of course, a lot of those will be useful when you take it out on the road, which we will be doing. And then off to the side of that is our volume knob. Now, our audio system is going to be quite impressive here on the M5. So we have the available Bowers and Wilkins audio system. However, a Harman Kardon is standard on every single 5 Series. Let's go ahead and take a listen. If you somehow ever get tired of the noise this thing makes, this audio system is really quite impressive, and I also really like the metal speaker grills. Now let's move our way up the dashboard and we'll find our climate controls. Now, standard on the M5 is actually a 4-zone climate setup, so you can make your climate adjustments in the screen itself by using that button right there. Temperature adjustment is done in the screen pretty easily. You also have standard heated and ventilated seats, so I'm happy to tell you that even though you have those really cool sport seats, that's going to keep your ventilation as well. And then as far as climate adjustment, I do want to point out that you have kind of the digital setup to adjust your fan speed, as well as this little knob to adjust the overall pointing of the fan. Now, as far as the screen itself, let's dive into this. This is your typical BMW screen. It's a 14.9-inch display setup. This is running iDrive 8.5, so it's not quite the newest setup, but it is one of the later versions. It's going to have quite a lot of functionality, including wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, as you can see right there. Additionally, you have built-in navigation and some M-specific information as well. Now moving up, we have an auto-dimming interior mirror with HomeLink garage door openers. And then I mentioned this earlier, but we do have a full Alcantara headliner that really elevates the overall cabin experience. Here on this model, we have the carbon fiber roof, so we're not going to have a moonroof, and of course that does help save weight. But now let's dive into the rear seat area of this M5. Now, of course, that's one of the beauties of this vehicle is you can take 3 people here in the rear seat along for the journey. Now, as far as the space is concerned, it's the same as any other 5 Series, so about 37 inches of legroom. There's also quite a bit of headroom as well. I'm 5'9" for reference, and this is my own seating position, and we're looking at, have it backwards here, about 7 inches of additional knee room. Certainly pretty nice. My feet can also slide up underneath of the seat. Now here in the center, we have our own climate vents, as you would expect. As I mentioned earlier, you also have 4-zone climate, so each rear passenger can adjust their own climate back here. Additionally, we have 3-stage heated rear seats standard as well, 2 USB-C ports. And overall, the seat itself from the back seat view really looks fantastic. You're definitely not going to forget you're in an M5. Now, if you look over at the door trim, there you're going to find we have rear window sunshades for both pieces of glass. That's kind of cool. And then most of the door trim is going to be made of either soft touch plastic or a full leather material. Quite a bit of door storage as well. And then you have vents coming out of the B-pillar as well. Walking up to the tailgate, of course, you have a hands-free power trunk. And as far as the space is concerned back here, we're looking at about 16.5 cubic feet, which is slightly less than what you're going to get on other versions of the 5 Series. Now, I do want to point out, for those of you that are in the know, you might already know this, that they are offering an M5 Touring, which is a, of course, wagon version of this vehicle, which will give you a lot more practicality. So certainly keep that in mind, that you can get a wagon version. It's not just available here in this sedan setup. Now, as far as what you're going to find back here, I will point out some of the sidewalls are a little bit thicker than other versions of the 5 Series. The seats do fold still, though, 40-20-40 split, and there is not a spare tire. Well, guys, we are thrilled to be behind the wheel of the all-new BMW M5. In this test drive, we're going to be discussing quite a few different things, as you can see on the screen right now. Of course, we will be getting a hard acceleration first and foremost, and getting our sound level reading. Now, of course, Josh is with me here at BMW Test Fest. If you haven't already said hello to him, say hey in the comments. But we can't wait to go ahead and get started, so let's do it. Woo! Holy crap. All right. That was past 60. Well past 60. Trying not to get arrested here in the new BMW M5. Oh my goodness. Whew. What a brutally quick acceleration in this executive sedan. That's really one of the most amazing things about the M5 is that you get that insane level of M performance, but you also have an executive sedan really if you just want to put it in comfort mode, which is really quite incredible. But all right, what do we have under the hood? I talked about this, or hinted about it a little bit earlier in this review. We have a traditional V8 under the hood, so I'm happy to tell you that. You keep the 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. However, for this new M5, we are adding some electrification to the mix. This is actually a plug-in hybrid, so we have a 14.8 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack. Altogether, we are making 717 horsepower. Yeah, didn't say that wrong. It's 717 horsepower. That is just an astounding amount. And as you can see, it definitely will push you back in your seat when you press the accelerator.
Oh, yeah.
And even just under light acceleration, you just hear that amazing V8 growl that I'm sure so many of you guys are just very happy that they left alone, because the V8 didn't really need changing, and certainly this is a pretty excellent powertrain.
Now just know that V8 can alert some friends like we have over here in the church parking lot.
Yeah,
of course, he's
indeed
not coming for us, but he can certainly hear that V8 quite well. So we will accelerate gingerly out of this parking lot. But if we wanted to go full beans, BMW rates the M5 at a 0 to 60 of 3.4 seconds. And even though that first acceleration was going downhill, I think they're underselling themselves just a little bit. Yeah. I think this M5 could do numbers around 3, if not even under 3, because it is just filled with torque and instantaneous power.
Yeah, of course, electrification has benefits other than just, being able to drive 25 miles on a single charge. It actually boost your performance quite a lot. So I like that they're using electrification not to replace the V8, but to add to it.
Oh, man.
Wow.
It leaps.
Well, all right, I'm going to try and stop laughing so I can actually discuss some information. We have an 8-speed automatic transmission on board here. Of course, it is beefed up for M duty. This is a lovely transmission. It does a fantastic job of when you just put your foot down, it will shift instantaneously to get you the power when you need it. Of course, it doesn't even necessarily need to drop too many gears because this thing has power in gobs, but definitely a very good transmission. It's also nice and smooth when you're just cruising around in comfort mode to give you that executive-like experience. As far as just kind of cruising down the road here, we will just go ahead and tame the vehicle by putting it into comfort settings for all of the drive modes, and we'll go ahead and get stuff like our sound level reading.
So we have M sound off. We're going to go into our climate controls. Everything is on fan speed 1.
Vented seats are off.
Our seats are off. Lots of controls to navigate here. All right, and the perks of a plug-in hybrid is that we are sitting at 58.2 decibels in this M5, and even though we are here in South Carolina, I still want to go and compare this M5 to all of its competitors at carconfections.com/sound level reading. So of course, it's going to be sitting a little bit on the louder end of the segment, as you would expect. It's going to be sitting up there with things like the Cadillac CT5V Blackwing, but this M5 does have its special advantage.
Yeah, and that special advantage is the fact that we took that sound level reading in pure electric mode. I'd say a lot of this reading itself actually has to do with the road surfacing that we're on here in South Carolina, because BMWs normally test really quietly, and because you can actually flip this into full electric mode, I'd expect it to be just as quiet as really any other version of the 5 Series, which is already a very quiet vehicle. So definitely something to consider there. Also, when it comes to your suspension, Now that we're just kind of cruising along here in the city, I want to talk about ride quality. I think that's one of the best things about this M5 is that duality that you have. You can do what we just did out there on the, highway portion, and then come here in the city and be in absolute comfort when you toggle, of course, the adaptive dampers and whatever to comfort mode. It really does make it to where you can have an executive level sedan, but also have a track monster if you want to use it as such.
Now, Mason mentioned it earlier with the 25 miles of all-electric range that you can get while the battery is charged on this M5. In general, the system's going to be making about 50 mpge, and the ironic thing about that is when you look at the price tag in the pricing section, you're going to see that the gas guzzler tax is included because at the end of the day, it's still a V8 executive sedan, which is really ironic.
I think it's kind of stupid, honestly. I mean, I'm riding around here in pure electric mode, yet we still get the gas guzzler tax. Don't argue with me, that's a government thing. But
saving all of the trees in EV mode that we just killed during our hard acceleration.
I guess so, but they're going to charge you, I think it's $2,600 as a gas guzzler tax, so be aware of that. All right, now let's get into our Car Confections Slam Dunk and Airball, which is our favorite and least favorite element about this new BMW M5. Of course, it's hard to come up with something that is our least favorite element about it, but, we're car reviewers, so that is what we do for a living, is kind of, critique little things. But what's our airball, Josh?
So our airball for this new generation of M5 is going to be a little bit of the lack of visceral nature that you would get out of previous generations of the M5. We have some close friends back at home that have a V10 E60 M5, and you're just going to truly feel the raw performance from that in every corner.
Yeah, this vehicle is obviously a lot heavier than previous generations of M5, and it's not saying that the performance is not impressive, but it definitely does feel a little bit heavier than other versions before. So if you're looking for that executive experience, you're going to really like that here in the new M5. But if you're also looking for a little bit of a more performance visceral feel, you might miss that from previous M5s. Now, as far as last things, your warranty is going to be BMW's Signature Setup, which is a 4-year 50 basic and powertrain warranty. Additionally, you are going to get 3 years of complimentary maintenance, which is nice for a luxury brand. Now let's discuss pricing for the M5. Now, of course, all of this will not come cheap, as expected. We are starting at $119,500 for this M5 sedan. Now, if you want all the options, we pretty much have selected all of those on this model. We're sitting at about $145,000. Now, if you're looking to buy a BMW M5 or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. But buying a car is about more than just the original MSRP, so let's dive into resale and reliability. First up, let's talk about resale value. As an economics graduate myself, we took the time to develop what we think is a good estimate for BMW's potential resale value. We estimate that after 5 years and 60,000 miles, it'll be worth 41.19%, and after 10 years and 120,000 miles, 15.3%. Now, it's worth noting that is below industry average for all vehicle makes. However, it is very much similar to other German luxury manufacturers such as Audi, Mercedes-Benz.
Now, we've also done the same for reliability by creating the Combined Reliability Index, which takes into account a lot of data taken from trusted automotive resources. According to this metric, BMW is on par with the industry average.
It's worth noting that's also better than the other German luxury brands. Now, if you'd like to learn more about our resale and reliability data, be sure to go to carconfections.com/resale and carconfections.com/reliability. Buying a new vehicle is a big decision, so you want to make sure you're making a smart purchase, especially if you're cross-shopping between different vehicle brands. Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in on this fun review of the all-new 2025 BMW M5. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, which we hope you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, not only are you going to get the latest car content such as this, you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We do a lot of car reviews. I promise you won't want to miss out. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.